Everyone, welcome back to another episode of What Do You Do with Laura-Lee and myself, Katherine. Today we are lucky enough to be joined by Tom Murphy from Command HR. So thanks so much for agreeing to come on, Tom. And in this episode, we will be exploring a bit about your career history, what you currently do at the minute, and we'll finish it off with a fun random question. So we'll get to the crux of the episode straight away and ask the question of what do you do? So Tom, could you just tell us a bit about what your current role is and what your day-to-day duties would look like, or what day-to-day looks like for you?
Yeah, so I own a business called Command HR. We're a vendor independent software consultancy. I set the business up primarily because I was seeing a lot of people being getting recommended the wrong solution, maybe choosing the wrong products to help run their business and make their business more efficient in terms of how they manage their staff. So what I do is I Command HR, I recommend the right HR solution. So I'll talk to, on a daily basis, I talk to clients about kind of what they're currently using in terms of how to manage their staff, what their pain points are, what they'd like in a new system, and how big, how their business is going to scale. And then what I'll do is I'll go and have a look at what's out there in the marketplace, and I'll make sure that they get the right solution. So it takes away the risk when picking a solution.
Brilliant. And what would a typical day-to-day look like for you?
Absolutely mental busy, and usually up at the desk probably about 6 a.m. I'm up. I'm either implementing systems outside of office hours, or else I'm talking to clients on a daily basis. So it's a pretty action-packed day, lots of meetings, it's busy.
Yeah.
And do you have a favorite thing that you like to do, or something that you put to the end of the to-do list?
I like to get people set up on systems. So I like when at the end of the day or in the evening time, when I want go live for people, get people utilizing one of the systems that I kind of implement. That's kind of rewarding, because I know once they start using a system that I recommend or implement, it's going to save their business a lot of time, a lot of costs, and it's going to be able to allow HR managers and business owners to be able to kind of focus on their people and not on their processes.
Oh, perfect. So Tom, we're going to go right back to the beginning. What was your first job?
First job was I worked in a bookies down in Kilkenny City. My auntie was a bookmaker. She had about 16 betting shops, and she was the first woman on as a betting shop person on the actual race courses. So that was kind of interesting. She was a bit of a kind of trendsetter. Mm-hmm. And I did that. So I learned to work out calculations very, very quickly. Now, this is way before your online betting Paddy Powers, where you had to calculate stuff in your head. So, yeah.
Very good. And would you have any rookie mistakes you would care to share from any first-time jobs, or trying your hand at any roles that weren't quite...
Where do I start on that one? The biggest mistake really is the kind of over-promising and under-delivering, and telling somebody, when they ask you, can you do this? Can your system do this? Can it do that? Can the software do this? And you're there like, well, yeah. And you're saying yes to all these things. And you'll find out fairly quickly that it's going to come back to bite you, because, you're going to have a customer come back to you and saying, well, you promised this, and you said this would do this, and it doesn't do this. And then you lose the business and you're in trouble. So you kind of, you need to kind of know what you're talking about. You need to know your systems. You need to be able to, under promise and over deliver is probably the kind of take home that I've got from that. So, yeah.
Really about managing expectations and
yes.
clients, and maybe helping them kind of come to an understanding of what's actually going to work for them, probably within their budget and their...
Yeah, I've kind of learned as well that, talking to people in hieroglyphics, you need to be able to kind of explain systems to people, how they work, what's the features, what it's going to do for their business. It's not about how great you are. It's about like, what's the outcomes? How can I, when I put in a system, what I want it to be able to do is to automate a lot of processes so that your owners and your HR managers, they don't have to, be spending days on like kind of changing rotas or spending time, putting information down for payroll or whatever. If you can automate all those processes, it just allows that business to focus on their people. So what it means really is, staff, are your most important asset. And if you can actually spend more time with them and working with them and helping them develop, rather than kind of spending time on data entry, well, then that's got to be a good thing.
Yeah, definitely sounds like employee well-being is a massive part of it as well. That's the ultimate goal. And especially with everything that's going on in the past year or so, there's a real focus on that. So it sounds like your systems streamline the businesses or the processes for the business so they can invest more into their employee well-being.
Yeah, it's kind of, I've been kind of barking about this for a while now. It's kind of what you call an employee-centric approach. So when you talk to a business owner, it's not about you, it's not about your business, it's about your employees. Because if you've got a happy employee, you've got a healthy business. You know, employees realize their currency now. You know, it's not a big deal if somebody turns around in the job in 9 months and goes on to another job. Nobody sees that as a bad thing. You know, staff know what their value is, they know what they're worth. You know, when there's other companies out there who are actually, you know, offering them better you know, conditions, etc., you know, that's a big thing. You know, it's like the kind of the biggest winners going forward in business will be the businesses that can attract, engage, and retain their staff. And you know, you need to be able to incentivize your people and to stay within your organization. And by helping them, you know, develop, you know, have a good kind of well-being program built into your business, well, that's got to help, you know.
Yeah, brilliant.
So you've obviously come a long way. Have you got a career highlight you'd like to share?
Career highlights. Yeah, I mean, there's been a few, you know, but I guess highlights of my career are just happy customers. You know, I mean, it's just about, you know, if I can make life easy for business owners. And what annoys me is I hate seeing businesses get ripped off. And I've seen a lot of people buying the wrong solution that might have been recommended by a friend or somebody else. They'll go on Google or whatever. And what happens is that people buy the wrong solution. And if I can help them not make those mistakes, take away that risk, and they're happy, you know, and it's my business is built on, you know, how my customers feel about how I've treated them, and, you know, my account management skills and how I've looked after them. And it's all about referrals. So so happy customers, that's my biggest achievement, you know.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, Tom, well, those were the main big questions for you. So we'll move on to our random question.
Okay. To reach in and pick out a question.
No problem. So are you ready for this?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay, so our random question is, if you owned a restaurant, what kind of food would it serve?
I'm kind of a traditionalist, you know, so it's kind of like it's nice to be able to go out and just get a nice meal. But you know, it's restaurants are quite straightforward. There's two types of restaurants. You know, when you go on holidays, you go to that restaurant and it's got like this whole like massive kind of Bible-sized menu with all the pictures of the food, and they've got loads of different food on the menu, and you're there like, I can't eat here, I'm going to get food poisoning.
Yeah.
Or you go to a restaurant like my restaurant, and you walk in the door, and it's like a night every day they print up a new menu. It's a white sheet. It's got one chicken dish, one meat dish, you know, one fish dish, one vegetarian. Very straightforward. You know, you're not going to get food poison. The food's probably going to be good, you know, if they're changing, you know, so kind of nice and concise and just good, decent, traditional cuisine. That would be me.
Yeah.
Not getting hungry.
I know. I think for me, I would definitely go Italian, but then you do have the complexity of an Italian menu. You've got your pizza, your pasta, everything with it. So no, that's a good one. It's a good simple menu. That's what you need. Brilliant. Well, Tom, thank you so much for your time today, and thanks for joining us for our episode of What Do You Do? It's been great learning more about what you do and your career history and how you've got to where you are today. So really appreciate your time. So thank you. And thanks to everyone who's been watching, and tune in for our next episode coming soon of What Do You Do? Thanks again.
That's great. Appreciate it. That was great. It was great fun.
All right. Thank you.